Peace and light, family. I hope that y'all are well. It has been so long. I feel like it's been forever since I've been on live. It is Tuesday, February 18th. I am off this week, off from work, so it's midwinter break up here in New York City. So everybody that's in school, DOE charter school, everybody, we are off, and I am so grateful. I really have just been spending this time just really resting and recuperating. Let me tell y'all something. People always talk about how educators and stuff get a lot of time off. I'm a learning specialist, and let me explain something to you. Educators deserve all the time off that they get, okay? Because the entire school, from the lunch ladies to the teachers, learning specialists, principal, assistant principal, deans, everybody was exhausted, okay? So we deserve this time off. But hey, Dab, how you doing? So for this time, I definitely have, yesterday and today, I really just spent just resting and chilling, and honestly just making some moves. Thank you. I appreciate you, loyalty. But just making some moves to really manifest new opportunities. So I definitely, y'all, honestly, if I could make money or really just didn't have to worry about bills, I would spend my entire time just creating. That is my true desire and passion. This morning I did yoga. I recorded some yoga videos. I was just doing a lot of different I did some painting, I did some art. All the art that's in my room behind me I've done. So I was just painting and doing some art and just really manifesting stuff and just creating. And if I didn't have to worry about bills, that is literally all I would do. And have I considered a tiny house? Let me tell you what I've considered. I have considered a tiny house. And I actually have a friend who's working, I don't know, this is still a tiny house, but the mobile tiny house where basically she got a school bus. She bought a school bus and she's renovating the school bus. And her husband and her 2 kids are gonna live out of the school bus, but they're converting the bus into a mobile home in a sense. And I think that's so dope. I've definitely considered it. Me and my best friend talk about tiny houses. Yes, very smart. We talk about tiny houses and stuff like that all the time. And I've considered it. But honestly, I'm looking into ways that I can manifest not having to work a traditional job, because I am a creator and that's just what I do, honey, okay? And I gotta be able to dedicate my time to that. But anyway, so since I've had this time off, I have been catching up on shows and movies that I have not gotten to see. I watched Who Killed Malcolm X, the documentary on Netflix, about Who Killed Malcolm X, and it's a 6-part documentary. I rewatched and saw the end of, finally, Kevin Hart's special, and I'll discuss that as well. But I literally just finished watching Just Mercy. Just Mercy is the movie with Jamie Foxx and MichaelBJordan. I was crying. I remember when the movie first came out, which it came out at the end of 2019. I remember when it first came out and people were saying oh, they're gonna get an Oscar. I remember being in the movie theater watching Queen and Slim, and the trailer came on for Just Mercy, and I was like, oh, this movie looks good. Jamie Foxx, Michael B. Jordan, it looks good. And I definitely wanted to see it. Didn't get around to it, but finally got to see it today. And after watching it, I see why there was so much Oscar talk. They bodied this movie. Jamie Foxx, the acting is just out of this world. I don't know, Jamie, how that brother, the amount of talent that he holds in his body, the amount of gifts that brother holds in his body is just miraculous. He's a comedian, he's a writer, he's a singer, he's an actor. That brother is a quadruple whatever threat. He produces music, he directs films, he is phenomenal. And I don't think that he is truly getting the flowers that he deserves while he is here. I feel like Jamie deserves so much more credit than what he actually gets, and I hope that he starts getting more soon. He does have an Oscar. He won an Oscar for Ray. I was about to say, I forgot what movie he won an Oscar for, but it was for Ray. He definitely deserved that Oscar. I'm glad that he has one, but that brother deserves more. He is just simply amazing. Amazing. In Just Mercy, his acting is just I don't want to say he carried the movie because Michael B. Jordan did a phenomenal job. So did Oshea Jackson Jr., which is Ice Cube's son. He did an amazing job playing Ray. But Jamie Foxx playing Walter McMillan was just like one of the most phenomenal performances that I've seen in a long time, okay? He had me captivated. Every scene that he was in was just like, you were tuned in. You were tuned in to every word, every facial expression, everything. Jamie Foxx is amazing. Michael B. Jordan, what I love the most about the movie is that, honestly, anytime I see Michael B. Jordan in a movie, I'm expecting them to have like a love interest for him, and I'm expecting the movie to be centered around his love life. And what I love most about this movie is that they kept it focused on the idea of black men being wrongfully convicted of crimes. And I love that they kept the focus on that. They didn't try to like hook the women in with a love story. They didn't try to do any of that. It was solely about this black man, Walter McMillan, who was wrongly convicted of a crime. And not just him, but also the brother Herbert, who also lived in the community, the young brother Ray, who also lived in the community, and how these three different stories of black men, hey Ashley, these three different stories of black men being convicted of crimes and sentenced to death for crimes that they did not commit, and it's known that they did not commit. And what I love most is that they added the character Herbert, who was a vet. And with him being a vet, he basically, like, while he was in war, he lost his mind, as a lot of vets do. The brother had been through a lot, and he started losing it, and he received an honorable discharge from the military. And I love the fact that they had that character Herbert in the film, because it truly showed a different side of, yes, he did the crime, but should he be sentenced to death? I love that they brought that juxtaposition in there of, yes, we do have a lot of brothers who did no crime, a lot of brothers who are completely innocent, and they don't deserve to be in there at all. But we do have brothers who also may have committed crimes, but they were not in their right mind due to circumstances that were beyond their control, like being in the military and being put under circumstances that causes them to lose their conscious mind. Therefore, they make unconscious decisions, like the brother Herbert made this bomb, and this white woman died as a result of him making this bomb. And I'm giving away spoilers, but honestly, the movie been out so long that if you ain't seen it, I apologize, but you about to get some spoilers, okay? And I love that they added that character Herbert, because it brought a whole nother view of someone being wrongfully convicted. And something that the brother Ray was the young brother played by Oshea Jackson Jr., something he said when Herbert started giving up and he started, like, you know, questioning his sanity, and he was like, I shouldn't have made that bomb, I shouldn't have did it, like, and something that I love is that Ray was like, no, you don't deserve that. What you deserve is, you need help. You need to be basically like in a mental institution. You need mental help. You don't deserve death. And Jamie Foxx told him, he was like, that don't give them the right to take your life. And I love that they brought up that point, because a lot of people think that, you know, when black people talk about mass incarceration and we talk about the prison industrial complex, all we're talking about is like, we're just trying to say that every black person is innocent and no black people should be in jail. And that's not what justice truly is. When we call for justice as a community, what we are asking is for several things. Number one, equal and fair sentencing. If this brother is not in his right mind, if this brother was honorably discharged from the military because it was medically proven that he had lost his mind, anything he does as a result of that should not be criminally held against him and cause him to be sentenced to prison time or death. He should be in a mental institution. That is fair. Yes, he committed a crime. Yes, he did something wrong. But the fair sentencing is to put him in a mental health institution so that he can receive the mental health attention that he needs. That is fair, right? So it's not that we're saying that no black people commit crimes and all black people are innocent, because we know that's not true. But what is true is that we have the right to a fair and equal trial. We have the right to due process, and we have the right to fair and equal sentences, as the same as all of our counterparts, right? So I love that they had this character Herbert and they showed that perspective. And unfortunately, they set his date His conviction was not overturned. They could not get a stay of execution, which means that he wouldn't be executed. Instead, they went ahead and executed the brother, and he died. And this is a true story, and it's all a true story. And I love movies like this because it brings into, it's like the Central Park 5 case, right? Where it's like, this is not a fictional thing. The entire time that you're watching this, you know that these events actually happened. So you are watching this play out as though it's happening right now. This is someone's story that they're telling. So they told this brother Herbert story. When they had the young brother Ray, so you got the older guy who Ray referred to as ancient, who is Herbert, right? So Herbert is the older guy. Then you have Ray, who is the very young brother who was convicted of a crime that he did not commit. And he kept saying, I forgot exactly what the quote was, but basically he said that the police told him that even if you didn't do it, we know one of your homies did. So you're taking the charge for one of your homies, which is not, it's reality. It's the reality of what a lot of young black people hear. Like, oh, we know it may not have been you, but it was one of y'all who did it. So somebody got to go. And I love that they kept emphasizing that point. And they kept emphasizing the point that Walter McMillan, who Jamie Foxx played, they kept emphasizing the point that the last thing he heard was, based on his mugshot, he looked like he did it, so we're going to convict him. I love that they brought in that perspective of, they're letting us know exactly what the cops were saying and thinking when they arrested these brothers, right? So the thing about the movie that really just like captured my attention and kept me in for the long haul, because honestly, movies nowadays are 90 minutes, y'all. I don't know if y'all been catching this, but movies don't be 2 hours like that no more. Movies really be like an hour 40, an hour 35. This movie was 2 hours and some change. It was like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So, but it captured my attention for the entire time. And what really captured my attention is that it wasn't the ideal story. They didn't have the love interest for Michael B. Jordan. They didn't have like, oh, he fights the trial and they win immediately. And yes, we all win and go home. It wasn't that. It was reality. It was truth for your ass. You had Herbert, who died. You have Ray, who is still sitting there. You have Walter McMillan, who lost the first time. He lost the first appeal. And that brought it to our attention that like, damn, this shit really happens. It really happens. But the thing I loved about Walter is that he never gave up. He never lost sight of the goal. And when Michael B. Jordan came to apologize to him after they lost the first time, he basically was like, what are you apologizing for? What you telling me that you gonna quit? I think Walter realized that he had nothing to lose. And even though the white guy who was the witness in the first trial the white guy admitted that he lied, and that the testimony that he gave saying that Walter was there and that Walter was the person that killed the girl, the white guy admitted that he lied, and the judge still was like, nope, it's not enough proof, send him back to jail. And Walter still did not give up. And even then, I was like, well, what are they going to do next? Like, if they don't accept that the witness is saying that he lied, what are they going to take next? But no, like he did not give up. And there was another step. There was something else that they could do, and he took it to Supreme Court, which the lesson I learned in that, because once again, I became doubtful. I was like, yo, what are they going to do? Like, it's nothing left they could do. If they not believing the witness, that's it. It's over. I even had to check myself because he took it to Supreme Court. And finally, the Supreme Court not even overturned the conviction, because honestly, it was that talk that he had with the prosecutor. And when Michael B. Jordan told the prosecutor, like, look, basically, you getting justice for your people, but your people are all of these people. What about the black people in the community? Your people are calling you wanting justice for that girl who was killed, but what about the justice for this brother who was taken away from his kids? You know what I'm saying? And the prosecutor, in the end, he didn't he didn't fight the motion to dismiss the case, and the case was dismissed, and Walter was able to go home. But the thing was, Ray, who was the young brother, was still left in prison on death row. And as the end credits roll, they give the updates of how everybody's doing. And honestly, y'all, so I was a G the whole movie. I wasn't crying the whole movie. But the part that really took me out and had me crying was in the end, when they give the update on how everybody is and how everybody is doing, when they showed the real Herbert, who was actually killed and executed, and you really see his face, and in the picture, he looks so strong but broken. Like, you can tell that he's broken. That was sad. That took me out. And then what took me out was when they gave the update on Walter, and you see that Walter got early onset dementia, and they said that his years on death row took a toll on him. And that just made me think about all the brothers who in real life, including Walter, have served years in prison for crimes that they did not commit. And yeah, their convictions may get overturned, and we see these victory stories in the end. But at the end of the day, they still spent that time, and they're still in solitary confinement, and the mental damage is still done. You know, and that part really broke my heart, because he's free, but is he free? You know, he's free physically, but is he mentally and spiritually free? That man has been damaged. That man has been broken. And that made me think about Khalif Browder and so many of the other people, old and young, men and women, who have sat in prison for crimes that they did not commit. And the conditions of the prison have broken them down and changed their lives forever. And even though their convictions may get overturned, they may get released, but do they ever really get to live a full life? That brother got early onset dementia, and he died. You know, he died. And that part really just had me like, wow. And then another thing that just really made me sad was Ray, the story of Ray, who was the young brother. In the end, Ray served 30 years. 30 years. The real lawyer, Brian Stevenson, he took on Ray's case, but Ray served 30 years, y'all. Ray served 30 years, and he sat in prison. I'm getting a little emotional right now, because he sat in prison for 30 years, you know. And we think about these brothers. Hey, Natty, I'm over here. I just watched Just Mercy, girl. They almost took me out the game, sis. But Ray just, you know, he served 30 years in prison, and his whole life is just gone. It's just gone. And I think about my students, and I think about my brother. You know, my brother is in his 30s, and I always, anytime things like this happen, I think about my brother. When I see stuff like this, I think about my brother, who my brother has no glasses today, Nadia. Yes, I do have a cold. How you know? You can tell it, you can hear it in my voice. But yeah, like, I think about my brother, and the thing about my brother is, you know, he's a father, he's a husband, and I can't even imagine someone pointing a finger at my brother and he goes to prison and he's gone. And my brother is a good man, and he's always been a stellar example of a man. So I can't even imagine something like that happening to my brother. So when I did the previous video and I was like, yo, when I support black men, I support black men because I've been supported, yeah, Natty, I've been supported by black men my whole life, and my brother is one of them. And I can't even imagine something like that happening to my brother. That would just like break my heart. So when I saw Ray, I saw my brother, and to see that this man served 30 years, and probably just like Walter McMillan, even though he's free physically, is he truly free mentally and spiritually? You know, and those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves. Like, is it really justice in the end? Is it really justice in the end? And I love the fact that Just Mercy highlighted this. You know, is it really justice in the end? And shout out to Brian Stevenson, who is the real lawyer who actually does this. And he fights cases specifically in Alabama and a lot of deep southern states where wrongful convictions happen all the time. And he fights these cases, and he gets people out of prison and off death row mainly, who've been wrongfully convicted. So much love to him. But it just once again made me reflect and made me go within and just question our justice system. You know, we have our justice system where it's not really justice at all. you know, and we have these young black men who are being convicted, young black men and older black men who are being wrongfully convicted of these crimes, and they sit on death row for years and years and years, or just sit in prison for years and years and years, sit in solitary confinement for years and years and years. And even if they do get out, they're still in confinement. And in a sense, still, thank you. But they still are in solitary confinement in their mind, because no one out here will understand their experience. You know, no one out here will understand what they've been through. No one out here will be able to fully relate to them. I think everyone will have sympathy for them. Some people may be able to empathize with them just from prison experience, but I don't think anybody out here will fully be able to understand their experience. So I think in a sense, even though they're physically free, it's still mentally solitary confinement, and that's the hurtful part. Yeah, so watch Just Mercy if y'all haven't gotten a chance. It's a great movie. I'm gonna try to rewatch Queen and Slim to see if I get a different perspective on it before I do a discussion or a review on Queen and Slim. I watched it twice. Still was not here for it the second time. I'm gonna try to watch it again and see if I get a different take on it. I just wasn't here for it, y'all. I wasn't. So I'm gonna try to watch it a third time and see if maybe I catch something else. But we'll discuss that as well. But how y'all doing, Natty? It's good seeing you, good hearing from you. I'm trying to get this code together. I'm trying to get it together. You see me? I'm trying to get it together. I'm not taking anything right now. I'm just drinking tea, a lot of herbs. I'm doing ginger, lemon, all kind of stuff. You are crazy. I'm doing ginger, lemon, all kind of stuff. Really, my nose is red and stuff like that because I was crying. I'm telling y'all, Just Mercy took me out. Don't waste my time or money on Queen and Slim. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time and money on Queen and Slim. I'm watching that on Fire Stick, girl. Okay, I saw it in the movies twice, so I ain't gonna do that no more. Okay, I support it. Okay, I tried. All right, I saw Queen and Slim and Harriet at the same time. Harriet blew me away. I loved Harriet with Cynthia Erivo. Speaking of, oh my God. So I watched the video, and I'll try to put the link in the description box of what's the name? I forget the sister name all the time, but the sister who founded ADOS, right? And she's talking about okay. The sister who founded ADOS, and she's talking about basically why Cynthia Erivo should not play Harriet in the movie. Y'all listen, okay? Listen. That is some ignorant foolishness. When it comes to like black British people playing African American roles, that's a whole nother discussion we gotta have, y'all. And I'll start a separate live to discuss that, because I definitely want to keep this solely about like Just Mercy and like criminal justice. So I'll actually leave out of this live and then start a new live about that topic. But I'm going to put the link in the description box. Y'all watch that link, and then I'm going to come back and we can discuss black British actors playing African American roles and all of that stuff, y'all. But Harriet, Cynthia Erivo, David Oyelowo playing Martin Luther King. Multiple black British actors have taken on African American roles. I'm going to talk about that in the next live. I'm going to put the description out there, but you can just type in, if you can't find the video, just type in ADOS, Cynthia Erivo, and it should come up. And it's a video of the sister who founded ADOS, and she's talking about basically like black British actors playing African American roles and how she feels about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll start a new live about that. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna put like in about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm gonna put the link in this description box. In 10 to 15 minutes, I'm gonna start a new live, and we could talk about that topic. And then we'll also like dig into Queen and Slim and all of that stuff. Okay, peace, family. Thank you for joining. I'll be back in like 15 minutes. Okay, peace.